What's going on, my people? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we discuss the finalized trade of Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell is headed to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Never saw that coming. There was speculation, but never saw it coming. The Knicks were thought of to be the front runners of landing Donovan Mitchell. Obviously, he's a Connecticut kid. He has ties to the tri-state area. It would have been, a homecoming for him, but not the case. I know people are going to clown the Knicks franchise for not landing Donovan Mitchell, but what the Jazz were expecting and what they were asking for, clearly too much. Danny Ainge, who is the executive over there and controls personnel and all the movements, he's a mastermind at this. If you remember, he was the GM with the Boston Celtics, hence they landed Jaylen Brown, and he pulled a wool over everyone's eyes by trading down in the draft 1 year and getting Jason Tatum. Now you see how that panned out. Now, one could say when he went to Utah and accepted this literally the same position, I think he's the president over there, or player personnel, GM, whatever. I think he holds many hats over there. That's what I do know. When he saw the team, it's not to his liking. Danny Ainge is a good talker. He's a good negotiator, but he tends to know how to strong arm teams out of what he wants and what they potentially don't see that they're giving up. He's interested in the future, hence the draft capital. Yes, he made off as a bandit with the Rudy Gobert trade. No one saw that coming. No one thought Rudy Gobert would, command that much in return. But he did it. Not to say Rudy Gobert is not a good player. He's a great defensive player, serviceable offensive player. But, if you can do it, then do it. And clearly, Danny Ainge saw them coming. But anyway, that's a different case. Danny Ainge had it in his mind from the time that he stepped foot in the doors with the Utah Jazz franchise that he wanted to blow it up and make it his own creation. Why is that? Leaves his own imprint. He's known as a builder, like I stated before. He's going to do things and manipulate drafts, free agency movements, and things of that nature to his liking. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to like it, but there are teams willing, for whatever reason, to negotiate with him, and it comes through fruition. Now, in the case of Donovan Mitchell, Donovan is fairly young. He's a budding star. He's made, I believe, 1 or 2 all-star appearances so far. He averages close to 24 or 25 points a game, and, he's an explosive player. Instant offense gives you that bang. People might question, is he someone you can build a team around? That remains to be seen. He's still fairly early and new in his career. I think he's 4 or 5 years in, but, there's still time. Donovan is an exceptional player. Him going over to the Cavs gives them not only a more prominent punch, it gives them depth to an already deep team. If you think about it, they didn't really give very much. I think they gave up Lauri Markkanen. They gave up Colin Sexton, and I believe their rookie that they drafted, OG Ayabi from Kansas, standout. And obviously draft capital, which is what Danny Ainge covets. But with that being said, you go to Cleveland and you look at their lineup. I think they have Darius Garland. They'll have the aforementioned Donovan Mitchell. They have Mobley, they have Allen, and I forget the other person that commands the other position. They have a solid squad, and on the bench, they're no slouches either. They come with a punch. They're very deep. But that's on paper. And what we do know is on sports, you can write anything you want on paper. You can acquire all the pieces and say you have the squad. You have an all-star team. You have a dream team. Doesn't matter. Those are words. Words don't matter in this space. What does matter is what happens in real time. What I can tell you is that in sports, in all sports, and at least in majority of sports, there's only one ball. But there's a multitude of egos that you have to contain. And there has to be a bunch of sacrifice that has to take place to make the whole mission work. Now, can it work with the Cavs? Maybe. They're a young team. Um, I don't necessarily see a solid veteran, and I'm not talking about someone who puts fear in anyone's heart, but I think someone who's going to kind of lay the groundwork and understand that they're all there for a purpose. But anyway, with all things being said, Donovan Mitchell going to Cleveland wasn't really the odds-on favorite. People thought he was going to go to New York, but it didn't happen, and I'm not mad at it. I am a Knicks fan, and I just think for what the asking price was, it was just way too much. You're literally telling people to just disrupt their team, basically predicated on a player that, if he becomes injured or, damaged goods. Not to say that you're wishing any injury or anything like that, but it happens. Injury is part of sports or, production. History has shown anyone that comes to the New York area, whether it's the Knicks or even the Nets, they seemingly forget how to play basketball. Their skills diminish, or they're just on their last leg, or whatever happens. I don't know if it's the party lifestyle, the big lights, the stage. It's different. Trust me, it's very different here. But anyway, with all being said, my opinion on it is that I don't really see Donovan staying there long term. I do probably think he's going to ask for a trade, or I'm not sure about his current contract. I think he signed an extension when he was part of the Jazz around 3 years ago, when he started to break out of his shell and, just bursted onto the scene. My guess is that he's a nice guy. He's very professional for his young NBA career. He's going to do what he needs to do. He's going to follow suit. He's going to make all-star teams. He's going to make his current team, the Cavaliers, better. They're going to make a lot of noise in the East. I don't really foresee them being a top 4 or 5 team in the East. The East is stacked. The NBA, for that matter, is totally stacked. There are going to be some surprises there, but who knows? Every year, there's a surprise. That's what sports is about, is it not? But I don't see him staying there long term. I think it might be a rental situation where he just branches out and finds a true destination that he wanted to be. I know a couple of the places that were mentioned were the Lakers, the Heat, obviously the Knicks, like we talked about. But hey, anything is possible. It is sports. But with that being said, let's see what happens. This NBA season is going to be very, very interesting. But you never know. Things could be only starting. No one's haven't dribbled a basketball just yet. No whistles have been blown. So we'll see how the season unfolds. We're still in the off season. There's still moves to be made. So with that being said, watch me work.